class. Good afternoon to everyone, or good day, or it depends on where you are hearing me. So this is MTH 303, vector analysis. So we continue from where we stopped last time. If you missed the class, try and watch the video that is on the platform or YouTube. So let's move on. So last week we were able to establish the magnitude, how to calculate the magnitude of a particular vector, or how to add the scalar and so on. So I received your work last time. You guys need to step up the games. You need to. I asked you to send it to me. I said you will get my number on the platform. I didn't say you should upload it to the platform. Anyway, so today we'll be talking about the two products. But from there, from the two products, I think we have here. Let me take this one out. From your book, you have something on the products here. So let me just start from there to explain to us. Then we proceed. So here we have, can you see my screen very well?
Yes, sir.
So we have the law that governs it. The law says here, if you look at this place, so we are talking about the scalar product of two vectors. Let A and B, vector A vector and B, be any two vectors of the same dimension. The scalar production of A, vector A and B, denoted by, that is A dot, vector A dot B, dot B. So which means when you have, anytime you have that, when you have A, okay, let me just write it here. When you have vector A, let's say A dot B is the same thing as magnitude of A and magnitude of B. That is modulus of A. Let me use absolute value of A and B. So let me try and clean this. We have it in our notes already. So it simply means we have A vector of A dot vector of B, which is the same thing as A, B, cos, let's say cos theta, where absolute value of A and absolute value of B are magnitude of the vector A and vector B respectively. And the theta is the angle between vector A and B. You recall last week I tried to explain what do we have, what do we call magnitude of A, magnitude of B. And under that version, we have this A, and at the end of the day, remember when they ask you to make, you know how to calculate your A, you know how to calculate your B, then you and I know how to calculate the vector A and the vector B. How do we calculate vector A and vector B? Remember when you have the vector of A, let me just try and adjust this. So the vector of A dot B, vector of B, is the same thing as let A go to A. Let the one with the same component go to the same component, that is A1, B1 plus A2, B2 plus A3, B3, when you have the three dimension. Then it's the same definition that lead us to how do we solve the problem of what we have now in another realm. For example, when you have, we know that the angle between, if you are asked to calculate the angle which we are going to talk about, the angle between vector A and B, what does it mean? It means you are asked to calculate the theta, which means from here, we can look for the theta, make theta subject of formula. When I make theta subject of formula, I'm going to have theta arc cos, open the bracket. Remember, you know the definition of A dot B, which is this. And we know the definition of this, which we know since last class. So it's going to be A1, B1 plus A2, B2 plus A3, B3 divided by the magnitude. You know how to calculate the magnitude, which is the same thing as square root of everything in A, square of A. Let me just write magnitude of A and magnitude of factor B. So you close the bracket here. Now, we need to know something, which means, like I did last week, one of the things we need to know is when you have ijk are the usual unit of vector along the x, y, z axis. So it simply means that anytime I have I multiplied by j is the same thing as is equals to 0. Then anytime I have j multiplied by I is also equals to 0. When I have k multiplied by I is also equals to 0. So anytime you have all these, there are certain things that happen. That's why you see them here. We put where ij equals to ji equals to ki equals to ik equals to jk equals to jkj equals to 0. But anytime I have I multiplied by I is equals to 1. J multiplied by j is equals to 1. K multiplied by k is equals to 1. So we have all this. Let's take note of that. Then the same thing happened to the same law. If you look at this law now, 3.12, our law says it's a distributive law whereby we are talking about the product now, where you have, in the first case, I would need to clean this place. So, like this one now, what do we do here? We know that, number one, A dot B is the same thing as B dot A. Take note of that. That is, if I say 2 multiplied by 3 is the same thing as 3 multiplied by 2. That's the meaning. So we can relate it with the number and with other value. Same thing happened to this. When you have M can be distributed among those elements. When you add number 2 here said M multiplied by A dot B is the same thing as M A factor A dot B. Or take it to the other side, like the way they explain, where your M is any scalar. Then at this point, when the third one say if A dot B, factor A dot B, factor B is equals to 0, then A factor A and factor B are perpendicular. They are perpendicular. Then when they ask you to find the products, vector products. So this is where we are. Vector products, how do we solve them? We are going there now. I will give us example. Let's quickly move to the example. So I just try to lay down some of this background. Isiaka Adiliwa, you are welcome. So let's continue. So is that Tayo?
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Yes, I'm fine, sir.
Good to see you here. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Long time, sir.
You're welcome. So let's move on. So example 1, let's start. Example 1, find the dots, find the dot product. Please mute your mic, except when you are asked to talk. Of the two factors shown below. Now we have vector A to B equals to 3i plus 4j. Then vector B to be 5i minus 2j. Don't forget that we have A to be equals to vector A to be ASI plus AYJ, and our B, which is the same thing as BSI plus BYJ, just to decode. Then I know that A dot B will give me AX to BX, remember, plus AY to BY. Why? Remember that since I dot I is equals to 1, if I multiply this to multiply this, meaning I have I multiplied by I, which will give me 1. So that is why the dot it works like this. Then if I take this one to match this one, it will also give me 1. So that is why you can see the remaining one. So let's solve this. We have it from our own equation to be A dot B to now equals to, we have 3 into 5 plus 4 into minus 2. And at the end of the day, you have 15 minus 8, which is equals to 7. Let's look at number 2. Another example, if you find the dots, find the dot products of A 4, minus 7. Then B to be minus 2, 3. So what this means is, this is AX, this is AY. This is BS, this is BY. I hope you can follow. So
yes.
Now, from here, I can go ahead and say A dot B is the same thing as ASBX plus AYBY. Then you can have 4 into minus 2 plus minus 7 minus 7 into 3. So at the end of the day, I have minus 8 minus 21 equals minus 29. So, but in a situation whereby you have, let's look at number 3, where you have A equals to 5I minus 4J plus 3K, then B equals, let me just put B here, equals 7I minus or plus 2J minus 8K. So our A dot B will now equals ASBS plus AYBY plus AZBZ. It's the same thing as 5 into 7 plus minus 4 into 2 plus 3 into minus 8. By the time you solve it, you have 35 minus 8 minus 24, which is equals to 3. Which is equals to 3. And we can also look at another example. What about when you have, I'm just showing us an example of that proof that you saw. What about when you have A to be equals to 5I minus 4J, comma, B equals to 7I plus 8J, and our C equals to 3I minus 2J. Then the question says find A dot B plus C. Find A dot B plus C. Solution means find your B plus C first before you say you multiply. So which means 7I plus 8J plus 3I minus 2J. So the component will also follow the component. They have 10I plus 6J. Then, now that you have this, you can also go proceed by saying our A dot B plus C will now equals to 5 what? Then plus minus 4 into 6. So in this case, you have 50 minus what? Please, can we please mute ourselves? So we proceed. In this case, on your own, I want you to solve this. On your own, lay your hands on this. A equals to 5I minus 4J. B equals 7I plus 8J. And C equals 3I minus 2J. Find 3a dot b. Find 3a dot b on your own. Same thing, that's first one. That's Roman figure 1. Roman figure 2 means 4 into a dot b. Find it. Any question on that? So let's look at number 5. I have here, find the magnitude. We did that last week in our last class. Find the magnitude of each vector. It is A, vector A equals to 2I minus 4j plus 6k. We have to find the magnitude. The magnitude will be, let's solve this one. The solution will be A equals to square root of a squared x plus b plus c. You can put x there, you might not put it, it depends on the method, on the way you want to write your magnitude. So, which means here I have the square root of what? I have 2 squared plus minus 4 squared plus 6 squared. So at the end of the day, I have square root of 56. I can break this one down by saying square root of 4 multiplied by square root of 14, which is 2 square root of 14. Square root of 14. But in another way, when you are asked to calculate a dot b, and you are given a diagram, for example, if you have number 6 says, I have this place, this angle is 30 degrees. And this side is modulus of equals to, absolute value is in 15, and our b is equals to 8. Remember that we need a dot b to be equals to the absolute value of a and absolute value of b cos theta, which is same thing as, what is absolute value of a? We know it, which is 15. Then multiply by absolute value of 8, which is of b, which is 8. Then we know our cos theta to be what? Cos 30 degrees. When you multiply this one, you have 120. And cos theta is the same thing as square root of 3 over 2. And at the end of the day, I have 60 root 3. So when you calculate a dot b, it's the same thing as when you find this one, you have 103.92. Any question? Are we together, please? Kausara, any questions? Samuel?
No answer for now.
Okay. Okay, let's continue. Let's look at another one. If I have this particular angle, call this one 120 degree. And this particular side is A equals to 10, and this side is B equals to 8. So by the time I solve this one, A dot B equals to, remember you are doing paperwork, meaning you must write all the formulas. Don't just write anyhow, just make sure you write everything involved. Cos 120. You and I know that cos 120 is what? It's negative 1/2, which you are going to have minus 40 at the end of the day. So, but in a situation whereby you are given to find the angle between two vectors, how do we go about it? To find the angle between two vectors, how do we go about it? Always remember, angle between two vectors, they are talking about the theta that I explained to you the other time. Okay, let's look at it. It says, find the angle. I've seen this question before in your past question. Let me use this word, between the two vectors. Vector A is the same thing as 3i plus 4j. And vector B is the same thing as 5i minus 4j. So A dot B will give us absolute value of A and absolute value of B cos theta. So it simply means that I can make cos to be subject of formula here, right? I can divide both sides by B, magnitude of B and magnitude of A, meaning A dot B divided by A divided by B is equals to cos theta and also divided by A divided by B. That's what I'm doing. So this goes with this. So I have this one. Then, now that I have this, I can go ahead and calculate this before I now make theta subject of formula. How do we calculate this? A dot B, we know the formula. I gave us the formula up here. I think I explained it not quite long now. Yes, it's here. This is where we are going. So this is the formula that we are going to embark on. Please take note of that. So meaning A dot B, first of all, A dot B is equal to A1, B1 plus A2, B2 plus A3, B3, which is our cos of everything. So let's take note of that. So we proceed and assume you know the formula now. So I'll first of all calculate A dot B over absolute value of this and absolute value of this equals to the A dot B in this case is 3 and 5. That is is going to be 3 multiplied by 5, which is I to I, plus 4 multiplied by -4. Everything divided by, square root of, you have to square each of A, square root of A plus square root of 4, still multiply by the square root of 5 squared plus -4 all squared. So at the end of the day, by the time you multiply them, you have 15 minus 16 divided by 9 plus 16, right? Plus 25 plus 16. So when you solve this one very well, you are going to have, we have -1 over square root of 25 dot square root of 41. So at the end of the day, you have what? -1 all over 5 root 41, which is the same thing as cos to cos theta. Remember, it's equal to cos theta from day one. So we now find the arc, we now find the theta, which is equal to be arc cos -1 all over 5 square root of 41. If you punch your calculator very well, you have 91.79 degrees. Any question? Any question, please? No question, right? Okay, but in a situation whereby this is a cos, and for example, if you are given something like this, do we still remember? Okay, let me draw this first before I ask you that question. Let's say question 9 now. So when you have this, and I have this, I'll pick another pen. Then I have this. Then I have this. So at this point, we call this one theta. Then you have A. Then you have your AY and AX. AX is equal to 3. Okay, let me use my pen back. AX equals to 3. Then AY equals to 4. So how do we find theta here in this case? How do you find theta? So
We apply isoquaternion, sir.
yes. Are you there?
Yes,
Hello?
sir. Yeah,
Can you
we
hear
can
me?
hear you. Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir, we are here.
Yes, sir, we can hear you. But there is blockage on the screen, sir.
Is it still blocked?
It is
It's
okay
clear
now.
Clear now.
Okay. So, with this now, we need to change, we need this, we need SOHCAHTOA, right? Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We need to apply SOHCAHTOA, which simply means, from our elementary, it simply means theta is equals to arctan AY over AX, which means so CAHTOA. That is, sine is equals to opposite over hypotenuse, adjacent over hypotenuse, opposite over adjacent. That is, the opposite here, our adjacent is here. Here is hypotenuse. So let's move on. What is arctan now? Or what is the theta now in this case? Our theta in this case will be arctan 4/3, which is 53.13. So it depends on the kind of question you are given to solve. So that would lead us to any other stuff we are asked to calculate. But in the main time, we can also look at this. I will not go in detail in the one of SOHCAHTOA. Let's look at this one. If I ask you to find the angle, find the angle of, because these are the questions, find the angle between the two vector and you have A to be -4,7 and B to be 3, -6. So that's the vector they ask you to calculate, the angle they ask you to calculate. Using the same method, at the end of the day, if you solve it very well, you are going to get your theta will be 176.82. I'm not going to solve it for you. Take your time and solve it using the same method that I use. Make sure you break it down. Don't just use calculator and punch. No, it won't work that way.
Okay, hello, sir.
Yes.
So are we going to consider the quadrant before we solve, sir?
I can't hear you very well.
So are we going to consider the quadrant, the point before?
Are you going to
Hello, sir.
consider?
The quadrant, the point before, sir.
And yes, you can consider the quadrant before, or you might not even go in detail. You can just continue. Just try. Let's see first. Just focus on it. Don't bother yourself about quadrant. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
So let's try and solve that one on our own. Or do you need any question? Do you want me to explain again?
No, we solve it and we send it to you, sir.
Don't send it on the platform. Do it.
All right. All right, sir.
To my personal, you can send it to me. Okay, let's look at a cross product of a two-factor cross products of two factors. Now, let's A equals to 3i plus 5j minus 7k, and B equals to 2i minus 6j plus 4k. So we now have A cross B. This is not an issue of multiplication. This is A cross B. Based on the knowledge of MTH 212, right? You should remember this. I, J, and K. Then what is in I? Okay, maybe I should first of all use the alphabet so that you can get it right. It's in your note, but I'll still try and see what I can do. Let's say AS, AY, and AZ. Then we have BS, BY, BZ. Now, we are coming back to the question. But let's look at this. Then remember, the law says plus, minus, plus on top. So if I'm taking the first, we know that this is the row. Our rows are row 1, row 2, and this is, sorry, this is column 1. Column 1. So now, if for us to solve it, the one of row 1, take I out. Now, if you are taking I out, that means all the column 1 will be paralyzed and the row 1 will also paralyze. I belong to column 1, row 1. They will be paralyzed. The remaining element will be the one you put inside this. Y, AZ, and BY, and BZ. Minus J. Where do we get minus? Because we know the part of the rule says plus, minus, plus. So the negative will multiply the J. So that's why we put it J. So now we release this. You will release this column. We are still dealing with row 1, column 2. So the J belongs to row 1. The row 1 will be paralyzed and the column 2 will paralyze. So it will remain what? AX, BX, and AZ, BZ. Please take note of that. Now, positive is on top of K. We have positive K. So you release here the column 2 and you go with column 3. You go after column 3. So meaning, if I'm going after column 3, row 1 belongs to K. K also in row 1, so it will paralyze. Column 3 will also paralyze. Remain what? AS, BS, AY, BY. Any question on that? So we can now multiply them. That is, you take this one multiplied by this, and this one minus this one multiplied by this. So it simply means I is outside here. We open the bracket. We have AY, BZ minus AZ, BY minus J in bracket AS, BZ minus AZ, BS plus K. ASBY minus AYBS. So these are the things, these are the methods you use to solve it. So now let's go to the A. Let's go to the question. Are we there now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for the questions, I hope you have the question on your notes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. We have A. The question says A equals to 3I plus 5J. Okay, let me just write it in the matrix form so that we proceed. So we have A cross B now equals to I, J, K. So what is our I? 3, 5, minus 7. 2, minus 6, 4. So we break it down the way we break the elements also. So it's going to be I into this one will cancel, this one will paralyze, right? It's going to be 5 minus 6 minus 7, 4. Remember, plus, minus, plus. It will help you. Minus J. I'll have the same thing. First row paralyzed and second column paralyzed. It's going to be 3, 2, minus 7, 4. Plus K. Third row will also paralyze. Third column will also paralyze, and the first row will be 3, 5, 2, minus 6. So which is I equals to 5 multiplied by 4.
That's 20. Yes, sir.
Okay, let's say 5 multiplied by 4 minus, in bracket, minus 7 multiplied by minus 6 minus J, in bracket 3 multiplied by 4 minus into minus 7 multiplied by 2. Then plus K, we have 3 multiplied by minus 6 minus 5 multiplied by 2. Can you see the way I put it? So at the end of the day, we are going to have I to be 20 minus 42 minus j into 12 plus 14 minus times minus, that's why it becomes plus here, plus k into minus 18 minus 10. So at the end of the day, you have minus 22i minus 26j
Minus 28K.
minus 28k. Thank you. Any question?
No, sir.
So we need to calculate to check how do we prove that the cross. Remember, I told you have to show that I think here there's one here. When I was trying to explain it, you guys need to go and read chapter 3 before next class, so that when I'm talking, I will not be speaking grammar to you guys. So look at this. At this point now, when they do the cross, this is the triple, this is what we are doing now. But you can see that you can also show that A dot B equals to 0. Likewise, A dot C, it depends, like the first one here. And if this one or equals to this and they are parallel, so let's just go and study those simple notes so that to complement what we are doing in class. I hope we are gaining something.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now the question now is, okay, let's look at this. Let me say Roman figure 2 now. So you can see A cross B. But if I ask you to calculate A dot B using the same method to show that it's equals to 0, so it implies that ASBS plus AYBY plus AZBZ. Same thing as A equals to 3I plus 5J minus 7K. C equals to minus 22I minus 26J minus 28K. Are you getting it now? So for us to solve this problem,
The B is not given, sir. You replace B and C.
yes, I'm just trying to give you the idea. I'll give you the B now. If you want to solve for the B, we can also get the B. I'm just giving you the way you prove it. But if I want you to do, if I ask you to take B from up, we still have AB up. Have you seen the AB up?
Yes,
the same
sir. Yes.
AB that we just finished.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
It's 2 minus 6J plus 4K.
It's still the same.
Okay, sir.
Are you getting it? So it's still the same thing. So I can now ask you to solve for A dot C. You know, I said AB equals to 0. Let's try AB equals to 0, whether it is equals to 0 indeed. What is AB? Let me just clean this one first. We have AB, right? Let's try it. Try AB and see whether you get the same thing. What do we have for AB? A dot B. So we have it to be what? Anybody? We have 3 in brackets. What is in the bracket, please?
2.
Is what?
2.
2.
Yes.
Okay. Plus what?
Plus that should be that's 6. 6. No, 5. Sorry.
5 multiplied by what?
6 minus 6.
Minus 6. Okay. Then minus 7 multiplied by.
Plus 4.
So when you add it together, what do you have?
That will be 6 minus 30 plus 24. That's 0. It's actually 0.
So 0. So that's what we are trying to show here. That is A dot B equals to 0, right?
Not equal to 0, sir.
It's equal to 0. Check again. That will be 3 times 2. That's 6. Then that's 5 into brackets minus 6. That's minus 30. That will be 6 minus 30 plus 24. And that will be 0.
No.
Use your calculator to confirm.
7 times 4 is 28, sir.
Is 28.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
Yes. So which one is negative? Which one is positive?
Let's
None.
check.
None is positive.
None is positive.
Yes, just 6 is positive. 6.
Just is what?
6 is positive.
Is it minus 30?
Positive.
Yes, minus 30,
Minus 30.
minus 28.
Minus 28. Yes.
So it won't be.
It won't be
Because
0.
it's not equals to 0. Do you agree
Yes.
with that?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So what we are saying is, let's now make A dot B. And this particular one, let's do it this way. Let's say A dot C, sorry.
Sorry about
A dot C, which is AX CS plus AY CY plus AZ ZZ. So we know them, the two of them are here. We have 3 in bracket minus 22 plus 5 in bracket minus 26 minus 7 in bracket minus 28. Can we multiply this? What do you have?
3. Should we do it as in singly or everything together?
Yes, everything together. You can do it together. You can do it. Depends.
That's minus 66. Minus. Minus 66.
What do you have?
I have 0.
Okay. Who else has 0? This is 196 plus minus 196 plus 196, if I'm right. So you have to do B, C for your own.
That's 0. That's 0.
BC will be, we have the B and we know the C. This is C. Let me write the B here. 2I minus 6J plus 4k. So let's look at the BC by ourselves and see what do you get. And the last question for today is, I want you to find A let's say 11, number 11 now. Let's say you have A equals to 5, comma, minus 4, comma, 3. Then our B equals to minus 7, comma, 2, comma, minus 8. The question says find A cross B equals your C. That is the factor A equals to this. So then after that, that's Roman figure 1. Roman figure 2 says, prove that A dot C equals to 0. So I'll show that A dot B equals to 0. So any question? Any question, please?
Okay, sir. No question for today. God bless you, sir.
And I stop sharing the screen now.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
So let's try as much as possible to do the all these classwork that I gave you. It will help you. It will, enhance your hand also. Probably you might be doing your exam question, you don't know. So just make sure you work hard. So please invite others, share the link on your platform, different platform you belong to, tell them if they are doing this course, they need to come over. Tayo.
Good evening, sir.